I'm going to share something with you because I want to give you a couple of stories about what social media is all about. I think hopefully you'll find them very interesting. So let's jump over to here. Now, the interesting thing is people have a lot of ideas about what social media is. So I found this video and I thought this probably sums up what a lot of people think. Why don't we watch it for a couple of minutes?
Time to check my social media, yeah.
To see who loves me online.
Hashtag blessed life. Time to post a pic with an inspirational quote.
It's deep and we'll get live.
No Wi-Fi.
Oh no, I'll die.
Where's my phone?
It gives me life. Eating ramen here in my pajamas. Eating ramen here in my pajamas. Logging on to see all of my followers. Instagram, my Java on the saucer. There's my mama ranting about Obama. In all caps and proper use of commas. To be honest, I feel for the Amish. They can't find a tweet or Facebook comment. Every day we get on the internet and talk through our screens to everyone. When words fail, we speak through emojis and memes. We follow Tay Tay and Kim Kardashian.
When I'm not on fleek and feeling basic, and my FOMO leaves me with no chill. I know my Snapchat squad will make me say, yeah, Scott, the World Wide Web is paid for real.
It's the virtual life, and it fools us all. We compare and scroll, so we'll measure up. We will take selfies in the perfect lighting. It's the virtual life. Had to pause from looking at a flower just to snap a pic of nature's power. Composition, filter, caption hour. Share the sacred moment, took an hour. My friend Donna went to the Bahamas. Haven't talked to her since back in college. Still I stalk her feet pics by the water. When she likes the dawn, go and follow. Met someone on Tinder, have crush on them. Never call them mom, just online holler. Went to watch Madonna in Atlanta. On my phone all night, I never saw her. Yeah, your BuzzFeed list on Harry Potter. Oh my God, my phone is out of power. Where's my charger, dear God, where's my charger? It's the virtual life, and it fools us all. We compare and scroll, so we measure up. We will take selfies in the perfect lighting. It's the virtual life.
All right, so is that social media? How about this? Is this social media? I love this one because it outlines pretty well the difference between a lot of different platforms focused on eating donuts, which is making me a little hungry. And so I think a lot of people, like, I don't think it's the other one, although some people do some of the stuff in the video. I'm not sure about this. This characterizes things pretty well. But let me give you a couple of stories. So, back in 2010, Haiti had a huge earthquake. And this picture happens to be from the University of Miami in Florida. And they have a whole article. If you wanted to go, I'll put these slides up and you can click on this link for the article that talks about the impact of social media. One of the numbers that I saw was that they were able to raise $8 million in just a week or so, like I think not even a full week, $8 million through social media to help the people of Haiti. And if I recall right, that's when you first were able to text in, like you could text a number and then it would take like $10 off your phone bill or charge $10 to your phone bill. So we weren't even directly paying, it was kind of coming through the phone company and stuff. And now that's pretty commonplace. That's a pretty common way to donate, is to donate through your phone by text messaging. But the word got out on Facebook and on Twitter, and tons of people jumped in to help with this problem. So here's another interesting one. This is national news, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was an airplane that landed on the Hudson River, okay? And so if you recall, their engines went out or something, and there's a movie about it now, Scully, and he was able to land it because he was an expert pilot. He had actually been a glider pilot. I believe he was in the military, had flown in the military, so he knew how to handle a plane. And instead of everybody dying, he brought them down. And so somebody's on the shore of the Hudson River, and they took this picture, and they said, there's a plane in the Hudson. I'm on the ferry. I'm going to pick up the people. That's just crazy. So this was one of the first examples actually of citizen journalism. They were there way before any newscasters were there, and they were going out to rescue the people. So that was pretty extraordinary. The next story I'm going to tell you is actually a local story. And if you're here in the Victor Valley, and actually probably no matter where you are, there's usually a local Facebook group. And so we have Victor Valley News Group, and I'm not actually even sure how many people are on it right now. There's I don't know, probably 100,000 people or more on it right now. It's pretty big. It's probably the biggest group in the Valley. But it's full of noise, like a lot of noise. Pretty much I don't go there, like I don't get notifications of it because people are kind of dumb. Somebody will say, hey, I like cats, and they'll be like, well, I like dogs. Why are you a dog hater? It's one of those type of places. However, in certain circumstances, it's a really useful place to go. For example, if you see smoke on the horizon, you can go to Victor Valley News Group because somebody probably is listening to the police scanners and things and the fire scanners, and they'll know what's going on. Or if there's an accident, you can get details about things that are happening. So what happened here is it was about 11 o'clock at night. I was getting ready to go to bed, and a friend of mine messaged me, and she said, hey, she's down in Orange County, and she said, some friends of ours are up in your neck of the woods, and they were out four-wheeling. I want to say it was up towards Barstow, out that way, kind of halfway between Victorville and Barstow. And they were out four-wheeling, and their 13-year-old son had been behind the dad. So this was the mom calling my friend, and my friend's telling me this story. And so he's behind the dad, and they're racing around the desert on their quads or whatever. And dad turned around, looked behind him, and the kid was gone. And this was, I think, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So of course they're searching everywhere, and they can't find the kid. And now we're at 11 o'clock at night. They still hadn't found the kid. And so, she's panicking to her friend, or to our mutual friend, and our mutual friend contacted me and said, hey, can you just put out some stuff on some Facebook groups to pray for this kid that they'll find him? Because it was December. And so, it's cold in December, really cold in the desert. So I asked her for a picture. She sent me this one, and I made this post to Victor Valley News somewhere around 11 o'clock at night, I think. Within an hour, probably even quicker than that, there were tons and tons of responses to this post, including from four-wheel drive groups who go out and do search and rescue, from lots of people who wanted to know. The guy that runs the news group back channeled me and wanted to know if I had contact with the parents so that he could get more information and, you know, try to be helpful and make connections. And I didn't know her personally, so I kind of had to connect him into my friend who can, you know, anyhow, there's a lot of connections there. Long story short, I, you know, finally go to bed about 2 in the morning because I was getting back channeled by all these people about how they could help. And so I went to bed about 2. I woke up around 7. I checked to see what had happened. And the guy who runs the news group had gone on site because the sheriff had set up a command center. And so he was on site early in the morning when they went out, when day broke, and they went out to go look for this kid. A couple of hours later, they found him. Like, he was totally okay. Thankfully, you know, he had been out four-wheeling, so he had all his, you know, four-wheel gear on. So he was probably cold, but he wasn't freezing. You know, he had gloves and he had a helmet and all that stuff. And they found him. And apparently the first thing he wanted was a cheeseburger because, you know, he's a teenager and hadn't eaten since probably lunch the day before. Anyhow, there are really beneficial uses to social media, and times like this really drive that home. And by the end of a day or two, there were 651 comments on this post, and about 715 people had posted a reaction to it. That was a pretty major outpouring. I was really surprised and excited about that. So I thought I would end up with this quote, totally random internet quote. I have no idea who said it. I didn't have a whole lot of luck finding it. Attribution, I always try to find attribution, but it's true. Social media, it says, don't use it to impress people, use it to impact people. And a lot of people use social media to sort of bludgeon other people over the head with their ideas. And I'm not sure anybody's ever actually convinced by that. I think it's probably more effective to share good ideas and to make, post out good information than it is to, you know, just try to, I don't know, you all know what I'm talking about, I'm sure of it. And we're in an environment right now with an election year and with this pandemic and with lots of other things going on that it's super easy to go down the rabbit hole. And depending on who you follow, you'll see lots and lots of that. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that all means next week. And you'll read some about that in the chapter in your textbook.